First time buyer, home buyer 101. Today we're going to be talking about lenders and what your responsibility as a buyer is to them. Because I get this question a lot. I'll get like, well, I was pre-approved with XYZ, so do I have to do my loan with them? No. No, that's what you need to know. There's no point where a lender owns you, okay? Now with a real estate agent, they can have you sign what's known as a buyer's agreement, and in many cases it makes it so that you can only work with them for a period of time. Lenders have nothing like that, right? And if a lender ever tried to get you to sign something like that, totally illegal, totally illegal. If someone tries to get you to sign something as a lender that says you'll only work with them, please call me immediately. I want a screenshot. We're gonna go viral with that because it is not allowed. So that's not a thing. And if a lender's saying, well, I did your pre-approval, so you have to work with me, not a thing again. Okay, so with a lender, you guys have a lot of options. So it's important to recognize that, because sometimes what happens is, you know, you may reach out to someone because you've heard good stuff about them, and then you do a pre-approval, but they don't ask for your documents and they don't go over numbers, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to work with you. Like, you're not doing a very good job here. And, you know, you don't have to work with them. You can find another lender. It's important that you guys recognize that, because sometimes I'll hear about this too late, and I'll hear, I thought I had to work with that person, and then I just hear some horrible story. So no, you never have to work with a lender. Now, the next question I get is, hey Jen, I'm in contract and I signed an intent to proceed, so I'm stuck, right? No. Once again, no. So here's the thing. If you're switching lenders when you're in contract to buy a house, you do always want to make sure the lender that you switch to can close the deal in time. You want to make sure it's a lender you can really verify that they know what they're doing. Okay. The last thing you want to do is, if you're in contract, switch lenders to a lender that's just baiting you. You know, you want to make sure that whoever you're switching to can deliver. So if you're doing a mid-contract switch, really look at the individual lender reviews, not the company, the individual lender, and also make sure you're getting a locked loan estimate before you switch, okay? I'm telling you this because I hear the horror stories of, yeah, they said they'd get this and then I got this, and they're being charged more, right? Because they know you're hostage now. Because when you get really close to closing, it's harder to switch lenders again. You know, a lender is going to need about 10 days to close your loan. So when you get within that 10-day window, you have less wiggle room. Now, do you have to close with that lender? Only if you want to close on time, okay? If the seller per se, like I've had some where the people are supposed to close in 7 days and they're just getting ripped off, and it's horrible. And we're like, hey, like we can get you a better deal, we can step in, but we need more time, okay? Sometimes, you know, the person is closing with that other lender that's charging them a lot more because the seller doesn't want to give additional time. Sometimes the seller will give additional time. Okay, so it's definitely something that you're going to want to talk to the lender about, and also talk to your real estate agent. Where it can get sticky is sometimes your real estate agent recommended the lender, okay? And here's what I've seen over the years. So with most real estate agents, you know, because we do a lot where we're coming in like 2 weeks before close and taking over the deal. And this is generally on VA loans, because VA loans is where we see the most predatory pricing. It's that simple. And it's where, you know, it's worth it to change. Would I suggest changing a lender over 50 bucks? God, no. But, you know, in the cases where we're stepping in, we're talking about 0.5%, 1%, you know, thousands of dollars, not 500 bucks. We're talking about thousands of dollars. So I've had some where, you know, the buyer's a little bit nervous because the real estate agent suggested the lender, okay? And what I always say in that is, I'm like, let's get you locked. We're gonna get you a loan estimate. You know, we're gonna get stuff going, but we're gonna wait until everyone's on board. And they approach their real estate agent. A good real estate agent, if you say, hey, like, look, this is what's going on. Unfortunately, your recommendation, they're really expensive. Here's a locked loan estimate from Jen or whoever you guys are switching to. Here's their reviews. You know, they say they can close on time. A real estate agent that is thinking about their business long term, they're gonna go, okay, let me call the lender. And they're gonna call me and they're gonna drill me and they're gonna be like, okay, where are you at? What's your plan? How are you gonna do this? How are you gonna make the close time? And we go through it, okay? Sometimes they will have it where the client calls me back. They're like, they told me I have to close with Bob or the deal's gonna cancel. They didn't even look at the loan estimate. They said I can always refi later. Look, if the lender you're switching to is saying you have enough time to close and you've got a locked loan estimate and you can show that lender's legit and they're not even calling that lender, they're just trying to push you back, it's a red flag. It's that simple, and I see it played out both ways. What I find is that the real estate agents that do more production and are very client focused, if you come to them saying, hey, look, this is going to save me a lot of money and they can do it and they verify, they're fine with it. Okay. There are a couple states where you would need the seller permission to switch, but the key is that you guys do have options. So if you're ever in a situation where someone's saying you have to work with so-and-so, it's a red flag. Especially before you're even in contract. If you're not even in contract yet and you're getting that verbiage, once in a while we'll hear of a real estate agent that has told their client, well, I'll only work with you if you work with my lender. There's usually something going on. And I did a video a couple weeks back about this new trend in real estate where they're getting paid on transactions from mortgage lenders. So the real estate agent's making money on the actual deal as well as money on the loan. So they're getting paid as a real estate agent and they're also getting paid as a lender, even though there's another lender doing all the work. So that's something that we're starting to see as well. It's interesting. When I started talking about that, I actually had a lot of real estate agents email me and they were really mad. They're like, I'm not doing that. Why are you talking about that? And it's like, it's happening in the industry and consumers deserve to know, because a lot of times consumers are being told they have to work with someone that they don't, and it's because there's some sort of incentive that they're not clued in on. So something to keep in mind, but look, I'm gonna keep it short. The key thing is this: a lender doesn't own you. If a lender ever tells you they do, they're lying. If a lender tries to have you sign something that says you can't work with another lender and you can only work with them, it's illegal. And if you're in the middle of a transaction and you want to switch because it's a huge savings and the lender you're switching to is legitimate, it's worth exploring. So I hope this video was helpful. As always, questions, comments, as always, feel free to reach out. Licensed in 48 states. I'm happy to look at your loan estimates. I'm happy to talk about what's going on. But the key is this: overall, make sure you're working with a lender who's walking you through the numbers, making sure you're comfortable, and giving you the education you need in order to buy a house. Thanks for watching.